With a rich history dating back more than 6,000 years, hemp is said to be one of mankind's most significant and substantive crops. While it played a major role in our country early on, during the last century, its use began deteriorating when it gained a stigma for being associated with marijuana.
Hemp's been cultivated for thousands of years for grain, food, oil, fiber, to make textiles. But in the early 1900s, it began a slide toward illegality in the United States. Many say it's because of the psychoactive nature of THC, the underlying compound to marijuana. But one could argue that there were very powerful lobbies from timber, petroleum, and others at the time. Henry Ford in 1941 made a car that was predominantly made from hemp bioresins and plastics, and for the most part ran on a biodiesel fuel. And I truly think that those lobbies, big pharma, big petroleum, big steel, big timber, had a powerful impact on hemp's forced slide to illegality.
The difference between hemp, which is now legal in all 50 states federally, and what is considered to be marijuana, is that one plant is bred to be much higher in THC with very little CBD, whereas the industrial hemp is bred in the opposite direction to be much higher in CBD with very low levels, below 0.3% THC.
With the belief that good medicine starts with good genetics and healthy soil, Blacklands Botanicals' experienced team cultivates its complex terpene profiles and cannabinoid combinations in the heart of North Carolina's Blacklands.
We founded Blacklands Botanicals with the premise of helping people. Patients, people who need CBD and varying cannabinoids, as well as farmers. There's a lot of struggling farmers, in particular here in North Carolina, tobacco farmers and some of the other crops. And we found a way to aggregate our effort and crystallize it toward something that's doing a common good for everyone. And it's not easy. It's still the Wild West at times, but we've surrounded ourselves with some of the best talent on the planet. The Blacklands of North Carolina is one of the most rugged and beautiful places on earth. Our Blacklands soil is 25 to 30% organic, some of the most organic soil on the planet. The micronutrients that we're able to extract from our soil by growing the plants that we have bred to grow in this climate and this environment, they take up these micronutrients and they're able to create cannabinoids with such a tremendous profile that beyond CBD and THC, we're talking about cannabinoids that science today is just beginning to understand.
For years, people have been farming fields around the country using pesticides and everything, not thinking that all those pesticides are leaching into the soil. The hemp plant actually remediates a lot of those toxins that are in the soil that will clean the soil over several years process. Hemp is one of the best plants for carbon farming. For every ton of hemp grown, it will sequester approximately 1.5 tons of carbon through the air. So the hemp cleans the air and it cleans the soil. The one problem that creates for us is that when we extract the oils from the plant, we have to deal with everything that's been remediated from the soil and the air. Blacklands Botanicals' approach to removing the pesticides and the heavy metals is through the use of chromatography, which is able to separate everything from pesticides to heavy metals to each individual cannabinoid, including all the terpenes. So everything can be separated into a different collection container, and that way you can have a pure CBD distillate, or you can reconstitute them together to continue to have the full spectrum effect, the entourage effect, all of the cannabinoids working together, which a lot of people think is working better for them. Therefore, the chromatography is the best way to get that done, and it will remove all of the pesticides and the heavy metals.
At Blacklands Botanicals, scientists work closely with various strains of high CBD industrial hemp in an effort to make high-performing feminized seed for farmers.
Cannabinoids mostly come from the flower of the hemp plant. The hemp plant has a female plant which produces a flower and a male which produces the pollen sacs. The hemp plant will change sexes under shock conditions. We shock our plants, and we do this to get the hermaphroditic tendencies. We also take the female plant and make it into a male plant so that all our seeds are all X chromosome seeds. Farmers come to Blacklands Botanical because we have feminized seed. And if you do not have feminized seed, 50% of your seed will not produce flowers. The farmer's going to tend to them plants, and then he's going to have to cull half of them because they will turn into males, which will pollinate his field, and he will have seeds in his field. Also, by doing this, the farmer can make many more dollars per acre.
The company remains dedicated to studying and educating about the attributes of full-spectrum high CBD hemp oil products, which constant research continues to support and affirm.
I use Blacklands full spectral CBD oil because my daughter has XXX trisomy, which is an extra female chromosome she was born with, and she also had a stroke in the womb, which caused widespread brain damage. And that in turn has created epilepsy now that she's getting older and growing. And I gave her the CBD oil and it worked the same day. She quit having seizures. So it was amazing. And this oil has helped her not just with the epilepsy, but also with her traumatic brain injury. She's able to read, she's able to process math, she's able to do all these things that ever since she was little she couldn't do. I would recommend it to anyone, and especially for children with epilepsy, because I've seen it, I'm living it. I mean, it's been a life changer for us and my family and my child.
We know that our full spectrum oil works for about anything that we've thrown at it so far. My brother has Parkinson's disease, and he started trying it, and it reduced the tremors in him. We don't know what plants or why this happens at this point yet, but we're hoping to find that out. At Blacklands Botanical, we try to have a premium seed, a premium cutting, and we also give support. We will support you as you're growing the crop and try to help you with any difficulties you may have through your growing season.